Hey guys, Richard here. So Medium is a great place to start blogging, especially if you're a beginner writer. However, a lot of videos out there simply just focus on how much money you can make and how much money I've made, for example. And that's not realistic for someone who's starting because obviously you need to start somewhere and everyone's going to start from $0. So in this video, I want to go through some of the top 5 mistakes I see, especially when I first start publishing, as well as people who still send me their articles and articles to my publications, and things I've noticed that people still make mistakes on, even if it's tiny. Because these mistakes are apparent, especially when I'm looking at it, then I'm assuming some of these could apply to you. So hopefully this video helps, and so let's get into it. Oh, also, before I get into the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you like this type of content. I'm going to be doing a lot of Medium content from now on, so if you're going to write on Medium, then hopefully this should help you. So yeah, let's get into it now. Okay guys, so my first tip is around formatting. Now, I took an article which I collaborated with Index, so that's a Medium-owned publication, to kind of show you how a Medium writer wants to show an article. Now, so this is an article I collaborated with someone, so they actually took it off the Google Doc, so we were like, editing on Google Doc, and they actually chucked it into my profile themselves. I don't know how Medium does that, they obviously have some backend. And they added a subtitle and an image and everything. So generally, I actually didn't touch this apart from the actual text itself. So this will give you an indication of what Medium actually wants to see. Now, obviously you have a title. A lot of people know this, that's fine. But people don't know you can add a subtitle. So I want to show you here. So let's say I'm starting an article, and this is going to be a title. And then you can add a subtitle just by clicking the small T here, and then you can see a subtitle option comes up. So a lot of people don't know that you can actually add a subtitle. Now, additional thing which you can add, which you don't really need unless you're writing like a series of topics. Like for example, if you're writing a 10-part article series on Microsoft Teams, I don't know why, that's the first thing that popped in my head. You can just press enter and you can go above it and you can type, let's say for example, Microsoft Teams, and you can just highlight this, and then you can just press the small T button and you have something called a kicker that pops up. So kicker will basically show, it can be basically an additional thing that you can publish on top of your article itself that gives you a bit of the reader, like an indication if you're writing a series or what topic your article is about. You don't always have to put this. A lot of times I can see here that in this article we don't have it. So a lot of times it's optional, but that's an additional thing a lot of people don't know. Now, as you can see here, they also chucked an image. Now, an image is not necessary as well, but it also helps to kind of like liven the article up a bit, and because Medium allows it anyway. So it wouldn't hurt to do it. I've seen articles which don't have it, but majority of articles probably do have it. So I put out an article from one of my favorite writers, Zuli Rain, and she pretty much follows the exact same format. So Mind Cafe, a very popular publication, and as you can see here, a title, a subtitle, and an image, and pretty much follows the same format, right? The only difference is that he has this thing here, but I wouldn't worry about that, to be honest. Now, as you can see here, you can see that you can have a bunch of titles, a bunch of writing, and at the end, what's most important is you add a conclusion. You don't have to write conclusion like you would in high school. You can just write a paragraph just to summarize the thoughts. And this is something also that Liz from the startup also highlights that you should do. So generally, if you're writing like an article about, learnings or something like that, it's important to put a conclusion or some kind of final note so you can kind of summarize everything at what you're talking about. So that's the basic formatting structure of what you should do in a Medium article. A lot of people actually don't get this right, because when I get articles for my publication, I just get a title and a bunch of text and no other formatting. It's really important because you need to put yourself in the shoes of the reader and how they want to read it, right? They don't want to read a bunch of wall of text with no pictures, just a title, because that's just unappealing to read, unfortunately. And if you're writing a Medium for the first time, you need to format your articles better. So that's his first tip number 1. Hopefully that helps you. Okay, so tip number 2 is funnel your content somewhere. Now, a lot of the times, especially when you first start off, you might go, oh, but no one's going to read my articles anyway, right? But what if someone does? My first month of seriously writing Medium, I earned probably a few $100s. And then my second month was when it catapulted to above 1,000. And that's because one of my articles just got 20k views. And Medium decided, that article for some reason is good enough, and they just pushed it in the algorithm and it got a lot of views. Imagine if I didn't set up my funnel. So what I mean by funnel is somewhere that a reader can go after they read your article. So generally the most easiest way is just to put something on your profile. So as you can see here, I have a Substack as well as a link tree. So when people click on my either or, they can basically get funneled somewhere. So Substack is they sign up to my newsletter, and Linktree is a bunch of links that they can check out afterwards. So as you can see here, I put my link tree probably a month ago. I've been funneling people to a Substack as always, previously a sign up page for something else. But as you can see here, a month ago, I just put this link tree and it's already got 65 views and 39 clicks. Now my link tree is very kind of very basic. You can obviously do a lot more things. I just put a bunch of my socials in it. So to be honest, I could do more with it. But as you can see here, it's free clicks, it's free views, right? And that doesn't hurt. That doesn't hurt basically. It doesn't hurt anyone, right? So generally, I would put at least in your profile. Some people do put it in, you know, I have a bio page here. Some people do put links in their actual articles, but that's up to you. But I would definitely at least put something in your profile, because even if you're starting off, your articles will start to get views, and even if that one view that you first get funnels to somewhere, that will help you, right? So always make sure your funnel is set up before you start. Okay, so tip number 3 is your title is more important than you think. Now, I did a bit of slightly illegal, unethical activity when I first started on Medium. I don't do anymore, but I was playing around with titles. So what I mean by this was I took articles which did not get curated. So curation is a way of Medium to say your article will go to more viewers because Medium deems it as, you know, a good read for viewers. If it doesn't get curated, it only goes to your followers. So if you think about YouTube, same thing. If the algorithm picks your video up, it will show it to more viewers. If it doesn't, then it pretty much goes to no one, and you have to promote it yourself. Now, starting off on Medium, you definitely want to get created, right? That's how you get views. And so the reason why I say title is important is because in the beginning, as I said, I uploaded a bunch of articles. Some got created, some didn't. I took the ones that didn't get created. I waited 5 days. I changed the title completely. And then I changed the image and I re-uploaded it. Now, this isn't, you're not meant to do this, you can't do this. But I did it as an experiment for myself, and those articles, a lot of them got created. And I was like, holy crap, that means the title is really important, right? So that's reason number 1 why title is important. Reason number 2 is much more obvious. If a reader's looking on their homepage, they're gonna scroll through the title. They're not looking for anything else, right? They can't see a preview of it unless they go to your profile. So generally, a lot of the times, they just see 3 things: your image, your title, and your subtitle. So make sure those 3 things count, especially the title. Okay, so tip number 4, majority of people have done this, but just as a quick tip to throw out, make sure you register for the Medium Partner Program. If you don't register, your articles will not get created and they basically won't be picked up by the Medium algorithm. Medium wants to pay you. They also want to pay themselves. And that is the way they make money, by basically allowing your articles to be paid-ward, and basically that means that you get paid and they get paid too. So make sure you sign up for this. I've got articles recently that people have not signed up for this. Generally, you'll know an article is just by the little star here, as you can see. So make sure you sign up for it. I have a guide for it if you want to go through the process if you don't know how to do it. But it's pretty straightforward. Generally, you just need to go to your settings here and then find the Medium Partner Program. Just do it quickly here. You can see it here. Just a quick thing that you need to do is if you haven't done it yet. But I'll go to tip number 5 now. Okay, and my last tip is don't forget about small publications. Now, a lot of people want to publish in big publications, but I mean, a lot of the times they're not going to help you as much as you think. The main reason is because they're getting tons of articles and they're going to be posting tons of articles. So unless they specifically highlight specific articles that you might post, it's not going to help you as much as you think. Now, this is why I think looking for smaller publications will help you a lot. So if you go to this site, I'll post it in the description, you can actually find publications that you could post in with the contribute button. However, this might not be accurate, so you want to make sure you want to go into their blog and see if they have a ability to contribute. Now, if I'm scrolling down here, you can see some of the bigger ones. So the startup, for example, which is now called Started Up. But you can also see some of the smaller ones. The reason why I chose this type of link is because it's looking at the most fastest growing, I guess, Medium publications out there. So it doesn't mean that it has to be big. So for example, you can see here that there's a Diablo publication here, and there is a, let's say, there's 100 ones of Slackjaw, so more humor articles, like floating around the 100k mark. You can see one is the 17k mark. So yeah, definitely smaller publications can help. They're also probably more likely to accept you. Bigger publications have a lot more bigger backlogs of people they want to, people want to write for them. So definitely look for small publications to post. You're not going to be disappointed. A lot of times it can actually even get you more views than if you post on a bigger publication. Okay, so hopefully those 5 tips help you. If you like this content, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe again. If you have any ideas for specific things you want to see, just put it in the comments below and I'm sure I'll cover it in the next video. Thanks.